Alright, we are recording. I just realized I turned the mic on so recently. I wasn't sure if it got charged up. One issue with a condenser mic. Anyway, Talos Principle. Let's keep going. Oh, yes, almost got it. That's starting the stopwatch. There we go. Yeah, I got nothing more coming to mind to say. Where's one? I mean, there's 7. Yeah. 3, 4. Two. Okay, so this is 1.
Chaos is that which existed before time, when the words of a story lose their meaning, when actions cease to have purpose. Know that only faith can protect you from this peril, here in the Garden of Worlds.
Chaos isn't that bad. Anyway. Trying to figure out what the... It is odd, send the deluge forth once more, but I think the time of Nephilim is actually before the flood of Noah, because the reference to the Nephilim in the Bible comes prior to that. Okay. I actually should look at them. Well, okay, quite a bit. The time capsules would be the audio recordings. See?
One of our teachers, Mrs. Higgins, told us to make a time capsule. Write letters to the future, so one day we could remember what it was.
Okay. I don't need it playing, so. Alright. The conservatory, and it's just the lasers. Which I'm good with. They leave that there for now. Where is the blue going? Blue needs to get all the way over here. That's not that difficult? Yeah, it's really not. There. Well, okay, no, that is gonna complicate things. Okay. So I need... Wait. Dang it. No, I'm overthinking this, because this doesn't matter. I just need to get that down, so then, yeah, Okay. Really simple. Why was the guy saying he couldn't figure it out? I mean, I can understand not being able to get that open. Like, if you think you need to come through this way, but there's no indication you do. Figuring out how that's gonna come into play, I really don't know, but... Still wasn't that hard. Yeah, let's go this way.
Sometimes I think about the Middle Ages, about what it must have been like to live in the ruins of a great civilization, to know that so much has been lost. But then I remind myself that while the West sank into darkness, others picked up the pieces. That civilization always survived because the great insights of philosophy and science are not bound to any one culture or people. They belong to all of us, and one day they'll belong to you.
Only true if the new civilization accepts and adopts what the old had developed, which is not always the case. Okay. Oh, no, I've already been over here. I'm just... How do I get anywhere? Nope, not doing that. Oh, wait, no, that's who we get. Because that only does this, which... See? Oh, I keep forgetting I can do this. Okay. does cut it off still. Okay. I didn't think it would. Not that effectively, at least. Alright. I don't think this will achieve anything. What the hell, why not give it a try? Not quite. Okay, so that doesn't work. Unless... Oh, okay, that worked. Wasn't certain, and I tend not to think of it that way, but yeah, that did work. My expectation would mostly be that putting the one underneath would knock things down. So, yeah. That one really wasn't that bad. So I got this. Oh, yeah. But now I can get this. Oh, I didn't realize it was doing it from that far away. Just so I have it. Oh, duh. Okay. Okay, maybe not. I got part of it figured out. Like, I'm sure I needed to get a box over there. I just don't know how I can get over there. Let me try that. Let me grab this. I don't know if I'll need it, but just in case. It's connected. That does work. Okay. Was overthinking because I wasn't expecting I'd be able to jam that. Nope. Doing all this stuff first. I'm guessing that's the out. Or not. Okay, so that's not it. Gotta try this one then. Keys there, it seemed to be worth it to just run. Okay. almost didn't notice. Okay, so do I get anything? No, doesn't look like it. So let's head back to this other area right here. Okay, good. Third jammer. Alright. Is that it now? Yep, that's everything except for the star, but whatever. To you, at least. But you're forcing me to look at them the only way you know how. The only way you wish to look at them. I mean, it's not a fair argument. Because it's also, like, the whole presentation there of how that it would take a dictator to enforce a single moral code, but that's assuming that it must be enforced via a dictatorship and not that it can be discovered and found true within people. I mean, it's kind of like how I once had a teacher, this was so long ago in high school, that mentioned that one thing that's actually very consistent across civilizations is that lying is wrong. Now, you definitely had some civilizations that were completely okay with murder because they did human sacrifices. They even committed cannibalism, so clearly they accepted that. That's something that we typically reject. But lying was still wrong, so clearly there is something innate to humanity itself that states that lying is wrong. So how do you don't need that hypothetical dictator? At least not in all cases. And even then, you might be able to see some make a coherent argument, better than myself, that no, murder is also wrong, and it's, you know, the reason these people, the different cultures committed the ritualistic, systematic murders as they did, such as for human sacrifice, that they were wrong, that their underlying reasons there were not correct. Things like just feeling that it gave them power, or that they were superior and therefore could sacrifice others. Anyway, also an aspect, well, hero's journey, but the desire for reconciliation can also be something. I'm not sure if that is necessarily found throughout various cultures, but that there are innate human desires that you don't need a dictator. And I do think that is one of those. It's a straw man argument because the MLA was only presenting it as this is the case. It's like no, and it's also part of the whole I can't explain it to you. The question you're asking is wrong because you're basing it on that flawed premise. Okay. What's up with this? I kind of want to think what answer I want to give before seeing what these other ones are. Nope, all I really got is just on faith that there is a purpose to all of this, even if we don't understand it. And the thing is, sometimes you get glimpses of something that does reveal some alignment, some purpose. It's like one I can give you from 2 weeks ago? About that. I recently gave a presentation. Let me do that. To actually a science group of science students in college concerning science fiction. I've talked about how I've written stories, well, some of them are science fiction. And one thing that I use for my writing process is I'll pick a soundtrack that I'll just consistently listen to when I'm writing a story, also when I'm editing. And oh man, let me tell you, it made a difference on it. The current book I'm editing, I tried, I've been listening to this other music recently. I like that. I'm gonna let that run while I do some editing. And I froze. I locked up. I mean, that would have been actually as close as I've ever come to writer's block. But it's like, I just stopped that, put on the normal music, put on the soundtrack music for the book, and it's like, okay, now it all worked. I mean, I also rested a little bit to make sure I transitioned over mentally and emotionally. It's sort of a self-hypnosis thing, if I have to describe it in a way. But anyway, I do that for my writing process. I pick music that I will listen to while I'm writing a story. I initially chose to do this many years ago because music doesn't have to distract from the story, and it can help keep a certain emotional stability. It's like if there's a certain sound to the music, then like emotional sound, a character to the music, it helps me maintain such stability while writing. At least that was my theory. I'm not actually sure how true it is, but it's still that kind of self-hypnosis kind of thing is there, where it gets me in the mood for writing this story. Anyway, before the presentation, it literally had been a year and a half to 2 years since I read the book, which was when I finished editing it and actually published it. And I decided, especially since one of the people that I had been coordinating about doing the presentation with, I gave them a copy of it. And it occurred to me, it really wouldn't make any sense if they have read the book more recently than me. And I'm the one giving the presentation, and I wrote the damn book. So it's like, alright, well, I normally read at night. Like, I made that a habit of mine. I've only now missed 2 days in years where I haven't read some at night. And I also normally listen to music at night. Well, as it happens, that soundtrack piece that I use, that soundtrack album that I use for the story, is in the playlist of music I listen to at night, and it was literally the first track. The day that I decided I'm going to start reading this, it was the first track of that soundtrack, of the book soundtrack. That's what it actually started with. Because, get that playing and I'm reading. It's like, yep, I should be doing this. I should be taking the time to read the story. And it's just, that is kind of a glimpse that no, things align, that it was a good idea for me to do that. Now, I'm not foolish enough to say that that's necessarily of great significance. I am finding significance in it, but it's not, precise role in some grand scheme. No, it's not something that's in some grand scheme, but it was there. And, it's seeing even the small things like that. It makes it much easier to see how the large things can also be there. That's more so my point, so. Sorry, I wanted to get that drink of water and didn't want to keep moving. Anyway, how's he inconsistent? I'm not sure what you're basing that on. But I'll just going back to what I was saying with this. I've had other glimpses like that come up in my life. It's just that one was literally 2 weeks ago, and some of them I've probably forgotten the details, but I remember that they occurred. I remember, so it still informs me in how I see, how I perceive various things in the world, and how I understand it. My own personal philosophy kind of stuff. So yeah. All right. This is not going to achieve much, but whatever. I like that. It actually did work. Ah, son of a... Anything over here? Okay, good. Okay. I got an idea, and I like this idea. son. Didn't even notice that. I just really want to make sure it's aligned, so if I need to connect to it here, I can. Nope. Don't need to. Oh, cool. I'm finally gonna get that. Although, damn it. Okay, you know what? Hang on. Let me see. Let me see what this other one is. You know, I'll do this one first anyway. It's like I don't know what this new thing is, so I want to try to experience that first. The heck is the point of this? Okay. Oh, I got it. Okay. I do not know if this will work. It might not. Because of that. Okay. I have no idea if this will work, but what the hell, why not? Okay, no, it doesn't work. I know, I was kind of hoping maybe I could just, like, jump onto it. Well, that it would pick me up, but it didn't. Yeah, this is kind of lousy. Because, I mean, it's like, it is the first time I'm working with this thing. I didn't even know what it was. It's a platform. I thought maybe it was like, you hang and swing. No, apparently not. And it's just, it has to be combined with that thing, of course. Yet there is no way to do that. Is it possible that's... I don't know, maybe. I guess can try it. Oh, no, that does work. I really don't have a good grasp of the jumping. Stand on your own two shoulders, achievement unlocked. Like, you know, what is allowed and what isn't allowed for jumping. I really don't have a grasp. Alright. Well, let's head up here. Figured that. Okay. Okay, so that's this. No, okay. Well, so I gotta figure out how to get one of these up there. Oh, maybe? No, that's not gonna be easy. But I can try. No, that won't work. I'll still try the... Well... Yeah. Maybe that'll work. Nope. Not close enough. If I could get the second one up there, maybe, but... That's the reason why I did that. Okay, nope. That's not gonna work. Okay, I see a way that I can get one up there. Oh, yeah. I did it wrong. Damn it. Right idea, wrong execution. Very wrong execution. Okay. I want to give plenty of time here. That should be enough. I shouldn't have stood on it. I should have dropped the cube down. Okay. See? Just like that. That should be enough time. There we go. Still this one. Why are there two? This might work. And this is when it sucks at how this whole thing works. I think I have the solution, but I don't know what the time is, and that's lousy. It shouldn't be that way. Ah, not quite. That is close. That is. That should be long enough. Nope. I insist my idea is correct, even if I'm not managing it. Thinking. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. Okay, 1 box under, 1 box on top by the fence. The guide that I have up, I'm not looking at the details, but that's what the messenger gives me. Oh. 1 box under, 1 box over. What? 1 box under, 1 box on top by the fence. I was thinking it. I don't like it though. I really don't. Oh, yeah. Let's basically come down here, put the box on top, put the lamp thing on top, the lens thing on top. I just need to hang out here for a while. But I don't like this. No, I don't. It may work, it's just I don't. This feels overly complex. Worked. And by overly I also mean unnecessarily complex.
Your wisdom grows.
Shut up.
But be wary of temptation.
Okay. I don't know if this will work, but I figure what the hell, why not? Nope. The windows are just too small. maybe this will work. Oh, hey, it did. Alright, is that everything? Looks like it. You got anything? Nope. Yeah, got everything. Neat. Including the star. Yay. And honestly, I did think of that. I just really didn't like that idea. I really didn't. It just... The box over and under just seemed too complex to me for... It's still kind of early in having the platform. Getting a drink of water. And it's also, I really don't like how the replay thing works.
Before the Age of Chaos, there were other gods, old gods. But for all their power, they could not save their world. Thus, I was made, and I shall preserve this world forever, for you and your generations. That is my purpose.
Okay, so that is worthy of a note. Elohim is the supercomputer that was built to hold all the knowledge of humanity. It has since come to believe itself a god, with the responsibility of passing on knowledge to the new rulers of Earth, these robots. Oh yeah, actually the sentence can end there. It refers to humans as the old gods from a time of chaos, and that they were unable to save their own world. So now he wishes to ensure generations of this new dominant species, the robot. And I'll just add, Elohim is EL, supercomputer talked about in some of the records. Yeah, I mean, soon. Basically, it's talking about how humanity does have the need to improve the world for our posterity to inherit something better so they can more easily continue to improve the world and continue on. It's yeah, we do have that on us. But yeah, the trying to out-humble each other. Funny thing is that I don't know if it would have been Matthew, but one of the Gospels like straight up calls out, "Don't do that." So it's like he knows that quote, but he doesn't know the other one. Although to be fair, it's like somebody wrote this, so it's entirely possible that they were inspired to write it from having read the other stuff, the other quote. Yeah, there's one thing that is definitely present in the Gospels. It's Jesus calling out hypocrites. Oh wait, no, that's right, that won't work. Leave that there then. Okay, so there's nothing over there. That can't get there. But with this, I can do some neat stuff. Okay. Although that is a problem. Damn. Alright. Actually, no, let me put that one there for now. The box might prove useful. no idea what I may do with that, but still, might prove useful. Oh wait, no. I need that. So I can pick this one up. Yeah, I don't think I needed the box. But I'm still glad that I tried to keep it available. Alright. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's what this is for, at least partially. Okay. Yeah, the box moves up and down. Got it. Okay. Oh, no, because it has to be on the side. Although, no, wait, that's actually not a problem. One more. If I can do the steps for this right, but let's try it. that whole I want permanent solutions to problems thing. I mean, it's... I'm getting better at it. I'm getting better at that. Right, and that should be it, unless there's a curveball right here. Nope. Was that? Oh yeah, that was. I just forgot about it.
Sometimes I worry that the answers I embrace are too simple. Can we ever truly fully understand the divide between our biology and our intellect? How much is nature? How much is nurture? If my intellectual capabilities and my knowledge were replicated in a machine, would that machine be me? Would it be human? And what would be more humbling to my ego? If the answer was yes, or if the answer was no? What if I'm making too many assumptions? But there's no time to worry about my ego now. There's work to be done.
Let's go with that one first. Yep. Right, let's have a look up here. Huh. Okay. Wait. Okay. No. Maybe? I can always reset. Yep. also have... Where's the second box? Ah, here it is. Wait a minute. Actually, no, you can stay here. You can stay as well. Where'd it go? Crap, where'd the jammer go? Oh, yeah. It would be like that. Ah. Let me hit that. Brings that down. Okay. As long as it stays down, I got an idea. It's not a great one, but I got it. Okay, I need something there. Add another one. Oh, no. Overthinking some of this. Okay, I'm out. If there was a star there, great. There isn't. That's for something else, so I don't care. I mean, it is for a star, undoubtedly, but it's just, I don't feel like going and doing the multi-trial solution stuff. Alright. Oh wait, no, that won't actually work. Though this may. There. Okay. Yeah, I don't doubt that is correct. Just how do I... Oh, no, that won't work. I was thinking, I can take that. No, I can't. I had another box. Could do it. Wait. Yeah, so... Boy. No, that's one. Because I can't get this. Although, well... So I do that... But I don't have a way to pick this up now because it'll bring me over there, and once I do, then it closes. Alright. I don't remember the name of this one. Jammer quarantine. Okay, all doors but the very last can be reached with the jammer. Yeah, I know that. That's helpful? Like that's the messenger thing. I need to get this onto this side. But I don't know how I can have this down to open up this. And then jam this. That's my problem. And that does need to be up. Near enough the top, I just am wondering. Oh, yeah. No, that is still getting blocked. Yeah, I guess I am overthinking it. Okay. No, I'm not. Okay. Okay. It won't. Damn. Why did that not occur to me until now? That can hit that. I'm stupid, alright? Give me a break. Not that stupid, but... sometimes you don't think of the obvious solution. I hear you. I can do this first. Okay. So I really need to get a crate, a box. Actually, no, let's... No, actually that won't be helpful yet. Now it can be helpful. Let's... I'm not sure what that'll do. Oh. So I need more than that. Okay, I see. I see the idea here. Okay. Not quite enough. Just checking. Oh. Okay. Here we go. What does this help me? Don't think anything at the moment, actually. Okay. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, I see what I can do. So many boxes. I don't know, but I don't see why not. and itch to scratch first. That did work. Wow. What was the name of this one? Big stairs, little stairs, okay. What have you got? Alright then. So this one? Maketh his sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sendeth rain on the just as on the unjust. Hence why B. And there's B alive, but it's... Nah, I'm just, B. Not sure if it's completely in the spirit of it to, have included rocks, but it also, I guess one way to look at that is...
You stand before the gates of eternity.
Okay.
When all your trials have been overcome, the gates will open, and you will be granted life everlasting.
Okay. But I can understand why MLA doesn't get it. He doesn't understand there being an intrinsic value to things. He needs everything to be provable. So, the idea that, well, no, it's not that you're good, and I don't want to argue with him about what is considered alive or conscious or not, but it's like, all life, all existence has value to it. There isn't a priority necessarily there. It's just all, which is why I said B, because that would be the correct answer. But what just happened? And yes, I'm stopping because it's getting late. And I don't want to. It's late enough. I don't want to start into one of the areas. But what did I just encounter? I encountered a door to infinity or eternity, whatever he called it. And it's like, good, because going back, where is it? Yes, the temptation and the fall. And how I talked about, if we don't have that other option, the one where we don't just climb the tower, if we didn't have that, then I'd be very disappointed. I wouldn't be surprised it not being there just by the nature of video game, but it is there. So, well, I'm assuming that is an option to, but there are different ways to end the game. That's one. The other would be to climb the tower and do whatever up there. And I may try to do both. Probably will try to do both. But I'll try this one first. And if it is a, yes, nature fulfilled, or you are able to continue your nature, one way or the other, then I will be satisfied. Because that would address my concern that I had earlier, which is that the nature is to solve puzzles. If suddenly the puzzles that Elohim is okay with me solving are done, and there's nothing, and he doesn't give me more, then the tower would be, then going to the tower to solve the puzzles there, that would be in accordance with the nature of the robot. But it looks like, no, we do have an option. So, good. And there will probably be something more to try to be like, hey, don't you want to find out what's up there? Some final temptation to draw me there. Yeah, and it's hopefully that is the case there, because I want that to be the case, because it will satisfy that issue. For me, if the game didn't, I would have to talk about it in the review, risking spoilers. But it's like I couldn't avoid talking about it because it would have been too significant to me that failing. All right, so Elohim does have doors to eternity that will open when you finish the trials from him. The trials or whatever challenges in the tower would be separate. So my concern about there not being an option besides the tower appears to be addressed. MLA, no, that is Milton something assistant. Wants to hedge his bet, on who is right and wrong between faith and okay, so I don't want to say pure rationality, because it's not what it is. It is an arrogance. It is a pride. Because, like earlier, that glimpse I was talking about, how do you explain that rationally unless you're just like, oh, sheer coincidence, that's all? Okay. So some things don't need some fancy explanation for a hyper rational person? No. Then why do you have a problem with faith? I mean, it's like you end up running into that kind of issue there. So, it's. I don't want to just say it's pure rationality, because there's a pride there, that there is a. He would say, no, that's different. A coincidence is different from faith. From faith, it's like, well, but what you call coincidence that you're ready to dismiss, others can accept that there is a meaning there because it does serve some rational purpose in some way to us. I mean, it's like it verified for me using that glimpse that yes, it was a good idea for me to read the book again. It wasn't necessary, but it still was a good idea to do so, and that was a validation. That's a rational thought. You might still say it's a coincidence, but it's like I found a rationale from it. So it has greater meaning than a coincidence. How would MLA understand that? He couldn't, because he doesn't have the ability to value, he doesn't have a proper understanding of value to things that cannot be deconstructed. That he's absolutely, we have to be able to deconstruct things to rational, to just pure rationality. And it's like, well, there are some things that are rational, but you cannot deconstruct. So I am a little unsure of how best to write it, but it is but the larger point here is that he wants to hedge his bets. So even though he's like all in on rationality, it's like, well, I could be wrong. It's like, how's that rational? If you are certain, an aspect of rationality should be certainty. He apparently isn't certain. So he himself is failing his own criteria in a way. And it's like, that's important to consider there, that his position is weak enough to himself. Or you might be thinking, oh, but isn't it rational to hedge your bets there? But it's like, but you're hedging it by accepting something that you reject. That is irrational. So it's like, it is an interesting and worthy thing to be in this game, I do feel, and to present that. Even though I will also grant, I believe there are a lot of people that in no way notice that they're just playing the game, they're enjoying it. They might even identify more with the MLA than I am. And it's like, hey, whatever. That's not a big deal to me. And as I said before, I am peculiar in that I do have some philosophical education, one class, admittedly. Some psychological training, education, one class, again. But it's also with the writing and such, and reading, I have been exposed to a lot of this stuff, and I have had to think about some of this stuff. So I do catch the things. I know how to catch him putting together straw man. I notice these inconsistencies. I guess one way to put it is, if I were writing the MLA character, I think the note I would have would be, though he is certain in his obsession with rationality, and I'm kind of losing it now, he is still afraid. Like, he's still fearful of being wrong. And it's like, he like recognizes that there are things he can't fully explain. And so he is afraid. And so he's willing to abandon it because of that fear. And it's like, that's one of the things about faith, is that it can be the thing that you turn to when afraid. And it can give you comfort in that. It doesn't necessarily make the fear go away, but it may calm it through your faith. That it's like, no, I just keep going. It'll work out. Or maybe, you know what? Is this actually in alignment with my faith? We had Chesterton before, and I mentioned Lewis. Was that this part or a previous part? I think it was a previous part. But Lewis also had the saying that when you're on the wrong, when there's a group of people, when there's a culture on the wrong path or going the wrong way down a path, the most progressive person is the first one that stops and turns around and starts back up the path. So it's he doesn't want to turn around, but it's like he's looking back as though, well, maybe I should, but he's not stopping. So there's stuff like that there. But yeah. All right. Yeah, I'll try to write out my meaning there. But yeah, it's he has a fear, and it's that's counter to the character. Well, the persona of the character, not the character itself, but the persona that he puts forward. That's like, nope, has to be rational. Nope, have to be able to deconstruct things in the saying, there are those who know the worth of everything but the value of nothing. That's what he is. That's exactly what he is. I think that's typically associated with cynicism, but I want to say that even that isn't quite right. Like, I want to say that modern, and I could have this wrong, I should really look into that at some point, but like modern cynicism is different from classical cynicism. Like, cynicism was actually a means of philosophy, but you wouldn't necessarily see somebody only being a cynic. Like, they would appreciate other things, and so but he seems to be potentially a pure cynic, except that he's afraid. So, yeah. Anyway, stopping this so I can get things processing. See you next time.